Good morning, Zane Gang. We got some new hotfixes today that we're going to be going over. I am pretty excited for them. They have been changing their dates for their hotfixes, which is a little bit annoying, not gonna lie. They normally released them on Tuesdays, but it's been a little bit different these past 2 weeks. Maybe it'll just be random from now on. Maybe it won't be set Tuesdays. It must be taking them longer to do the hotfixes than they're expecting. But that's fine. We're going to go over the hot fixes for today. I'm pretty excited. They're pretty awesome. I'm not going to lie. This is for November 7th, 2019. They'll be released at 3 p.m. PDT. Make sure to stay tuned. At the end of the video, I will be having another helpful tip for you. Now, I will be reading all of the hotfix on this video, but if you would prefer to look over it yourself, the link is in the description. Now, without further ado, let's get right into it. Now, we'll start these hotfixes by going over the Bloody Harvest adjustments. Captain Haunt is a fun boss fight with multiple phases, but players were often skipping entire phases because Captain Haunt's shields were so low. We increased his shields to make the fight slightly more engaging for most players and dramatically increased the loot drop chance, so players are compensated nicely for defeating Captain Haunt. Increased Captain Haunt's chance to drop legendary gear, increased Captain Haunt's shields, the hectoplasm drop rate from Ghost has been increased, Ghost drop 2 hectoplasm, Badass Ghost drops 3 hectoplasm, Loot Ghosts drop 5 hectoplasm, Loot Ghosts now drop more loot. This must be a typo how they wrote this, but Loot Ghosts haven't increased the chance of dropping Bloody Harvest specific legendary gear. Next is the Terror Anointments. Following what we've seen and heard from the community and the fading Halloween season, you're going to start seeing less Terror Anointed parts dropping from regular enemies. Bloody Harvest enemies, including ghosts, will be picking up the slack, so if you're hunting to make a spooky build, you know where to look. The chance for Terror Anointed parts to drop from regular enemies has been decreased. The chance for Terror Anointed parts to drop from Bloody Harvest enemies has been increased. Bug fixes. Anointed enemies are no longer immune to cryo damage. Although they can be slowed by cryo damage, they can't be frozen. Addressed a reported potential progression blocker for It's Alive with the Abomination bot. Addressed a reported potential progression blocker if players quit the game at a certain point in the Guns of Reliance. Addressed a reported issue that explosive gunpowder barrels were not showing effects when shot. Explosions created by enemy badass weapons have a much quicker explosion effect to reduce screen clutter. We found that badass enemies with heavy weapons were creating too many explosion effects that linger on the screen, hindering the player's view at times. We are going to make a larger change to their weapons in the patch, but wanted to shorten the explosion particle effect to dramatically lower screen clutter. Now I'll be doing a recap of all of these hotfixes on how I feel and think about them. So, the increased Captain Haunt's legendary drop rate is pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie, he was kind of crappy for dropping legendary. It wasn't even him dropping legendaries. I feel like he should drop more of his legendaries, you know, like the shield, the stalker, the fearmonger, Gascal. I feel like he should almost drop one of those every single time for how much you have to go through. So I'm pretty excited to see how awesome this will be. They increased his shield to make the fight a little bit better. That's okay. It doesn't really bother me. I actually enjoyed the fight either way, but now it's gonna be a little tougher. It's gonna be worth it. They increased the hectoplasm. That's pretty awesome. I didn't think this was that necessary, and I definitely did not expect it to happen, but it's awesome. I did all 25 of my kills in a day, but they're gonna make it really easier for you guys who are struggling to get all these hectoplasms. 3 from badass ghosts, 5 from loot ghosts, and 2 from just normal ghosts. Yeah, you're gonna get them done very fast. With the loot ghost buff, that's gonna be awesome. So you're almost probably gonna get a legendary out of every loot ghost, I'm gonna guess. And there's gonna be like Terror Anointments always. That's pretty cool. I'm excited for that. I'm gonna have to find a good spot to farm loot ghosts. I know some people have been using Voracious Canopy. Maybe I'll have to look that over. Next was the Terror Anointments. I'm actually really glad they did it this way, Because me personally, I wanted a way to farm specific terror anointments to make my terror builds, because I haven't been able to make my terror builds all the way yet. That's why there's no video on it yet. So now they made it so you can get your terror anointments from Bloody Harvest enemies, which is pretty awesome. So that means I need to go through the Haunt event a bunch of times, and I'll probably get some good terror gear that I can make my build off of. And then if I want to farm normal gear from like Agonizer, I won't see no terror in there, which is cool, but not that relevant to me right now. I'm just worried about making a terror build more than anything. But it will be nice. So if you are done with the Bloody Harvest event and you don't want to play it anymore, you can go farm your Agonizer or Grave Ward. You're not going to really see terror loot anymore. So you guys should be happy about that. These bug fixes were a little bit strange. The cryo damage on Anointed is going to be interesting. I'm not sure if it's going to be viable or not. Is it going to be dealing enough damage to be viable, or is it just a normal damage weapon like radiation now? I'm kind of excited because cryo is supposed to be good on flesh. But is it going to be good on Anointed? I can't like picture it in my brain because I've never been able to hit Anointed with cryo, so I don't know what it's gonna be like. I don't know if it's gonna be that strong. I'm pretty excited. I will be testing it out myself, that's for sure. Now these other bug fixes were kind of irrelevant to me. They were mission based, but the very bottom one was the badass weapons. They fixed the screen problem with them, so that's pretty cool. I'm gonna have to see what that's like too, because yeah, it is kind of annoying when you're doing Slaughter Shaft and other things, and you know they infinitely fire rockets and you can't see anything because it just clutters your whole screen. That's a really good way to put it, screen clutter. Yeah, and it looks like the explosion shouldn't last that long, so it just should be a quick flash and then they'll go away, so it should make it easier to handle those guys. I'm actually pretty excited. I know a lot of people have been complaining about this, so I'm glad they're taking feedback and doing something about it. Even me myself, when I do Slaughter Shaft, I complain about it the whole time because, you know, when you're running Cryozane, you're running around trying to get these badasses frozen, but you can't see them just because of all the rockets and stuff on your screen that you're just randomly firing, hoping you hit them. So that's going to be a really awesome fix. I am excited for it. Should make Slaughter Shaft more enjoyable. Something I would also like to note for the people who are still doing their challenges and don't know, you do not need to do all of these on each character. If you unlock these 4 chests on one character, it actually unlocks the skin for every single character. So you can put the gun skin on any gun on any character. You can put the shaders and the Echo skin. You could use that on all characters. It's not just for Zane. If you get it on Zane, it's for all 4 of them, which is pretty awesome. So you only need to do these challenges once. Also, for the mission that says collect Bloody Harvest loot, this does not have to be legendaries, epics. It could be whites. It just has to be loot from the Bloody Harvest. So when you're going up to Haunt, just grab some weapons and gear. You can throw it out later. Sadly, you can't keep throwing down the same items and picking them back up like you wish you could. But don't only grab legendaries. You can get that done fairly quickly. I grabbed a bunch of blues to do it. Same goes for the one that says equip 3 pieces of Bloody Harvest loot at the same time. These don't have to be legendaries. You can equip 3 blues at the same time. It don't matter. Just put some equipment around that you find and you'll probably get this challenge done in no time. Also, with the kill Habited Haunt to the Bloody Harvest weapon, again, it doesn't have to be a legendary. Now you have to kill him 25 times, so you'll probably get the legendary before you have that done anyway. But you could use a blue to kill him if you would like, if you're having trouble getting the legendary. It doesn't have to be legendary, just use any weapon that you find in the Bloody Harvest event. Dad's tips to not be dead. For today's tip, it will be mostly boss related. So, when fighting enemies like General Trunt and Kilovolt, they have a shield, but they are resistant to shock weapons. Well, if you hit them with radiation, it actually deals really good damage, because radiation's good versus shields. This goes for other things you want to do as well. If you are fighting a shield enemy and you don't have a good shock weapon yet, just simply tag them with some radiation and it'll do the job. Hey Zane Gang, thanks for checking out today's video. If you enjoyed it, please hit that thumbs up button. If you have not joined the Zane Gang yet, hit that subscriber button. If you would like to see my favorite ghost farm, there it is right there. If you'd like to check out the new shotgun from the Bloody Harvest event and you haven't gotten it yet, here's some gameplay for the Fearmonger. I'll see you guys in the next one.